Hi Flosstube, welcome back to my channel. This is my YouTube channel about cross stitch mostly, and I do share some quilting here and there. I'm Mandy. You can find me on YouTube at Mandy Made Stitches. Welcome back. Thank you for joining me. If you like what you see, I'd love it if you subscribe, and thank you to all the people returning and watching again. It's Friday night. It's the 15th of January, and yeah, I usually film on the weekends, but I work this weekend, so I'm filming tonight. I have quite a few. I did some FFOing the other day, so I have a good bit to show you. So I don't really have a whole lot of life update. I got my first round of the COVID vaccine on Tuesday, and I'm feeling fine. My arm was sore for like a day or two. I got the Pfizer option. Not that I really had a choice. That's just what my local health department had. And so I'll get the second one in a couple weeks. And then the reason I got to do some FFOing is because on Thursday, I had like a continuing education class that was online, and so basically it was an online lecture, and while I was listening, I did some finishing. I did a little stitching too, but I don't know, I was, no kids at home. I sent them to the babysitters, and so I got some really good time to myself. It was kind of rejuvenating, honestly. Behind me is one of, not the very first quilt I made, but it's one of the earlier ones. This was actually a Craftsy class. It was two separate classes. One was to like learn how to piece the blocks. So like it was supposed to be like a month-long, not a month-long, a year-long quilt-along, and each block was different for each month. And then there was like so you learned how to piece, and then there was an additional class where she showed you how to free motion quilt the blocks on a domestic machine. So this quilt really kind of sparked my interest in quilting. And it showed me that I like all the different kind of aspects of it, and so I did this probably in 2014, I want to say. I'm almost positive. Yeah, it was 2014. So I'm pretty proud of it. You can't really see the quilting all that good on it, but I don't know. I just have a lot of good kind of memories tied to it. So it was a lot of fun to piece all the different blocks. So I need to get back into sewing like sampler quilts like that, because I really enjoy doing that. So yeah, that's, I guess, a previous finish. I guess I'll get to the finishes, the fully finished items next. So this was released mid 2020 by Misty Purcell of Luminous Fiber Arts. It's her Gathering Berries. I think it's called Gathering Berries. I stitched it with a Victorian motto floss, and it's stitched 2/2 on a, I don't know, I think it's an even weave, maybe a linen, that was just randomly from my stash. I finished it in a pillow, backed it just with some red like grunge. I don't love this closure. It's just like a piece of trim where I put the slit here, and I attached the trim with hot glue. Shame, no shame there. I didn't want to sew it down. I was too lazy. So I don't love it. I think I should have made it maybe a little smaller. I like the front. I like the pillow finish. But yeah, so that's Gathering Berries. Next, I think I showed this as a finish maybe last week or 2 weeks ago. This is Winter Cardinal Etching from Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine, Winter 2020. I stitched it 2/2 on I think it's a 32 count. No, it's a 28 count Lugana. I can't remember the color. This little square thing is from Hobby Lobby this fall. I'm trying to get the piece out and I can't. It's magneted in there, but there's a magnet behind it. It said Hello Fall. It was like a little ornament. But I don't know. I don't think I'll hang it. But that way, if I want to take this out and put something else small in there, I can. Next, I finished the stitching on this quite a while ago. I think maybe 2 years ago. This is I don't know if it's Little House or Country Cottage. It's one of them Little House Needleworks. I think it's called Snow and Love. I don't remember. I can look it up. I stitched it. It's on probably a 14 count Aida with like the white dots. Probably it's probably the called for Fancy Floss. And then I just mounted it on some mat board with fabric back behind there. Here's some rickrack. I made 2 little bows, added some greenery. This little frame thing came from the Target Dollar Spot a couple months ago. Yeah, so that's that. I think I like this because it's kind of a crossover from winter to Valentine's Day. Even though like the snow, I feel weird decorating with snow living in Georgia because it's been cold, but there's no snow. Next, and this isn't totally finished because it's so freaking long. Will You Be My Valentine? This is Valentine Row by Bent Creek. Stitched with Fancy Floss conversion that I just pulled from my stash on a 25 count Lugana 2/2. I just mounted it on some mat board. I added some rickrack. I don't know what else. I don't know what to put it on. I have to find either a really long piece or ask my husband to cut me a piece of wood. I haven't decided there yet. But yeah, that's that. It was kind of a feat to mount this. I have some 16 by 20. I think it's 16 by 20 mat board that I got off of Amazon, and so that's what this is. That's how I got it this long, but this is like 22 inches or something, so I had to cut it on the diagonal, and then I didn't have one long enough for the back, so I had to kind of finagle it together. Yeah, but I like that. Hopefully we'll be up soon. This one is called Loads of Love by Little Stitch Girl. Is that her name? Little Stitch Girl, I think. This stitched up super quick. I started this yesterday during my continuing education class and I finished it this morning. I got up kind of early before work and before the kids got up. I saw Sambry Stitches last year finish the same pattern on this piece. This came from the Target Dollar Spot around this time last year. I got the last one. I remember I saw her video and then I went to the Target Dollar Spot and I got this. Yeah, so it's kind of, I'm glad it's finally stitched. I'm glad this worked out really quickly. It's stitched with Fancy Floss. Some of it's called for, some of it I just substituted out for what was in my stash. On this, I think this is called a something check or gingham. It's from Hobby Lobby. It's like a 28 count piece of fabric. I think it's a Lugana because it's pretty even weave. Yeah, so that was fun. nice. It's pretty satisfying that it was so quick to start and finish. And then last one, I finished the stitching on this last year. This is I think it's a Brenda Gervais pattern. And I don't remember what it was called. Maybe Easter Parade. It's stitched on a piece. This is a piece of Be Stitch Me Ada and like blush or something. I think it's similar colors. I don't think it's the called fors. Rickrack, so just some fabric, made it into a pillow. I saw crosshatch quilts finish a piece like this. I think it was maybe this piece, like this. So yeah, that's that. Yeah, I feel like I have a lot of finishes. 1, 2. And there's my dog. One of my dogs, Lexi. Sounds like she wants to go outside, maybe. Go lay down. Go lay down. Pause for just a moment. Okay, sorry about that. I'm back. So that was all my finishes, or my fully finished items. Next, I have 2 stitchy finishes. One of them you saw last week was Warm Winter Wishes. It is in, oh, hang on just a minute. Sorry, another interruption. My 4-year-old had to come in and give me kisses and hugs. He's been tucked in twice now. So, okay, I was talking about I have 2 stitchy finishes. One of them you saw last week. I started this for part of the Magazine Monthly Challenge Facebook group. Their event January Baringo. This pattern is called Warm Winter Wishes. It's a design by Nancy Greenberg of Pickle Barrel Designs. It's in just cross stitch. I think it's, yeah, February 2020. I finished it. It is stitched on, I think it's 14 count beautiful beige with just random colors. It's similar colors, but I don't think it's what's called for. And I messed up and left myself a poor margin on the top, so I had to squish these down, and I had to fudge these 2 snowflakes. But I think it looks okay. I don't think you would have been able to tell if I hadn't pointed them out. So I'll finish it as a pillow, maybe by next week. That would be fun. The next one is Heart in Hand, one of her wee one. This is Valentine bird. I think I talked about it last week. I don't know if I showed it, if I had started it yet, but Cobweb Corner is an online needle workshop, and she has a Flosstube, is hosting an event where we bird sal, I think, where we stitch all the birds. I have to add the button still. I forgot the button. But yeah, so this was a pretty quick stitch. I think I started it one night and finished it the next. So yeah, it stitches up pretty fast. So there's some specialty stitches in there. So this is pretty easy smear across, but this heart is called a Rhodes heart. I don't know if I'm getting it. I was pretty excited about that. It's like, doesn't look half bad. That was my first go at specialty stitches. Okay, so now I have a few whips because I'm still doing Baringo, kind of fallen off of working on my my whip go pieces. I just wasn't in the mood this week to do that. So Baringo it is. One of the prompts was to stitch something out of season. So that was this. Spring Tulips by Barbie Petal Pusher, or Fresh Pick Tulips, not Spring Tulips. This is stitched on 14 count parchment by Fabric Flair using the called for Gentle Arts. I really just did finish this leaf. Not a whole lot of stitching. I worked on it for one evening. Next, sorry, trying to put it back in the bag. Next was, the prompt was your smallest whip, and I didn't calculate it out, I was just guessing, but this was my smallest. Most of my smalls I start and finish, I don't keep them running for a while, but Little Quaker Christmas by Susan Aki, I did this motif up here. I think I maybe did that one too. I can't. But yeah, that was that. It's stitched on a piece of 16 count gray Ada with the called for or floss. Next prompt was your oldest whip. So that is this Halloween sampler by Cottage Garden Samplings. And here's my progress. I will finish this before Halloween this year. Stitched on 16, or that same 14 count parchment by Fabric Flair with the called for DMC, not the called for DMC, the called for Fancy Floss. I just did a couple letters. I think I did these L, yeah, C, I don't know. I just did a couple letters when I stitched it. Most of these only got like a night of work or just an hour to kind of meet the requirements for that particular square. So next is, I don't know how to pronounce this because it's in French. Jardin Privé, Trouvé l'Intrus. I call it Tree Row in my head. Stitched with the called for DMC on a piece of 14 count Beautiful Beige by Witcheld, I think. I just filled in that tree and started adding some stumps. This would be a really quick finish if I just sat down and stitched it. Probably closer to wintertime, next wintertime, Christmas time. This one I started today for one of the prompts was one of the acrostics, acrostic F, I think, the letter F, and it's called Cabin in the Woods, F because it's in the February 2020 cross stitch, just cross stitch magazine, Cabin in the Woods. I just did the outline. This is on a piece of 18 count. I think it's charcoal gray. Ada. Probably go work on that some more tonight while this is uploading. Next prompt was your newest whip as of December 31st, which is this Christmas Tree of Magic by Barbara Anna that I got from Nitka Moscow online. It is stitched on 25 count Lugana 2/2 with DMC. I just added the little pieces of green. You can't see it that great on my side. Was that? Two more. This is the Modern Folk Embroidery Fruits of Plenty, I think it's called. I'll insert a picture. I'm stitching it on a piece of 36 count That's My Jam by Be Stitch Me with DMC through a 168, 1/2. And I just got a little more there's like a pretty bird and with some berries in here. This is where the page, the first piece ends. So there's 3 more across, and it's like one released a month. So I hope I'll try to finish this before February's release comes out. Maybe I'll work on that tonight. I don't know. Last whip. I didn't work on this week. I just forgot to show you last week. This is one of my whip go calls this month. All Joys for 9 by Blackbird Designs. I'm stitching it on a piece of 16 count Gold Rush by Be Stitch Me. I'm not sure which way is up. Probably goes like this. That's sad. I'm stitching it with the call for fancy floss. I think with Whip Go, I've been feeling unmotivated because my goals are too lofty. So what I decided is I'm going to focus on my one. So I made 2 boards. I made a board with whips and I made a board with new starts. I think what I'm going to do is if I finish one of the whips for that month, then I will do a new start. Because I go back and forth. Some days I feel like, oh, I can start all the things and it's not going to stress me out. And then some days I'm like, no, I have too many projects going. It's going to stress me out. So, and this is a hobby. It should not be stressful, but some days it is. Just because I want to stitch all the things and I have so little time. Okay, that's all for whips. I have haul as usual. I'm gonna be slowing down on the haul here. I just feel like I've been overspending and I have a lot of projects that I can just work on. I don't need to be buying anything more. I am in quite a few clubs, some thread clubs and some fabric clubs. I'm not gonna stop those. I'm gonna try to cut back a little bit on what I purchase. It's getting out of hand. So that's that. I would love any support you can give me for that. I constantly struggle from wanting to be, I don't want to be a minimalist, but I do want to slim down my stuff, which I really don't have. Like, I have a lot of crafting stuff. I have a lot of fabric and I have a lot of cross stitch stuff. I don't have like a ton of clothes. I wear most of the clothes I have. I probably have more shoes than I need. But I don't know, maybe it's just a New Year thing. I'm trying to feel like I want to cut back on some supplies. But that's that. Let's get into the haul. This is not in any particular order, but I got a bag. This came from Fat Quarter Shop. This is a Lori Holt Big Dotty project bag. So this is designed to put your other project bags in so it can hold more. And really, I didn't need another project bag, so this is an example of something I probably shouldn't have bought. But I heard the term exclusive or limited edition or something along those lines, and I was like, I should get this. Because once I sell out, it's gone and you can't get it. And I have fear of missing out. Very bad. A couple of my, so these are some clubs that I'm in. Trucking along, this is almost over because we got June like last April probably. But here's March. So we have April and May to get still. I am behind. I think I finished November, so I have December through March to finish. I'll get around to them eventually. Next is, so that's a club from Fat Quarter Shop. Comes with the pattern, the fabric. It comes with a whole Fat Quarter fabric. You do not need that much, so I have a lot of chalkboard black. And then it comes with the called for fancy floss classic colorworks. Happy Little Stitch Shop is another online shop that's quilt and cross stitch, and I get their cottage of the month club. This is the last one for February because it started last year with March. So I want to start this soon, maybe tonight. And then also she has the tiered tray club. So this is the one that just came out, came out a few months ago. Madame Chantilly's Autumn, Celebrate Autumn. Comes with the fancy floss. And then I probably have a piece of 16 count French lace that the other ones are stitched on. I love these tiered trays, and I kind of want to finish all of them this year, but these are huge, 200 by 100 something stitches. They're just really tall, so I don't know if that'll happen. And then I started the Glitter Village series by Country Cottage Needlework. So this is going to be a monthly. We'll get one house a month. I'm going to stitch it on 32 count, the called for Belfast linen. She sent the whole series of DMC. So I will start that soon. I kind of want to stitch and finish it like Priscilla Blaine did from Stitching with the Housewives, where I think she had 3 rows. She finished it on like a window, and she did 3 rows of houses. So I like that. 3 is a good number. I might stitch it all as one. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. And then this also came from Fat Quarter Shop. This is a series they're doing. It's called Monthly Markings by Heart and Hand. Kimberly changed the colors, so I got the week's floss for that. And then I'm going to stitch it on the Venetian stone, which I think it's a 28 count linen. Once again, Fear of Missing Out set in, and that's where that came from. A couple patterns. Let's see. 2 of these came from 123 Stitch. Christmas ABCs by Lizzie Kate, or ABC Christmas by Lizzie Kate. And then this I just thought was really pretty, Nature's Piece by Carriage House Samplings. These came from Needle Case Goodies on Etsy. This is Winter Fling by Woohoo Stitches. And then 2 Housewives, their new releases, Be My Valentine and Be Mine. Those are those. And then, last but not least, I somehow managed to win 3 pieces of fabric from the Stitch Me's Friday Night Bite Night, and 2 weeks ago, I think. So I got this beautiful green, it's a 36 count linen, which I think I want to stitch ink circles, Forests of Sumatra on it. I haven't done the math if it's big enough or not. Hopefully it is. And then this is 40 count oat linen. And then this is unnamed. It's just a really pretty like blue. It's a big old cut of fabric. I didn't realize when I claimed it. It's a 32 count, but it's a half yard. So lots and lots of projects can go on that. And I think that's it. And we are coming in at under 30 minutes. Well, that'll probably be just around 30 minutes. But really, I think that's all I have to show you with all those FFOs and everything. So I hope you liked what you saw. Go ahead and leave me a comment, and subscribe and like, and I'll probably be back next week, hopefully with a good bit of stitching again. I just feel like it was a good stitchy week this week for whatever reason, or I just touched a lot of things. that's all I have to say. Hope you all have a good night and have a happy weekend or whenever, a good day whenever you're watching this. Talk to you later.